Go!
Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Federal government plans to imprison Nnamdi without trial. U.S. lawyer tells Ohanaeze Ndigbo. Federal government plans to imprison Nnamdi without trial. U.S. lawyer tells Ohanaeze Ndigbo. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. Bruce Fein, a United States-based lawyer and counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, (IPOB), has written a letter to the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, disclosing that there are plans by the Nigerian government to imprison the IPOB leader without trial. The letter dated May 11, 2022, which is addressed to the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Prof. George Obiozo, and made available to Guardian newspaper by Nnamdi Kanu's special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, tasked the Igbo socio-cultural group to rise to the occasion and assumed legal and moral responsibilities to ensure Nnamdi Kanu gets a fair trial. The letter reads in part, "Rise to your legal and moral responsibilities as Biafran leaders. Do not show your hues when danger appears. Remember to whom much is given, much will be required." Luke 12 verses 48. It has become obvious that the Nigerian government has no evidence against Nnamdi Kanu. Its aim is to imprison him indefinitely without trial, praying for either his death or handing his prosecution to the next administration. All that is necessary for triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing. The letter went on to stress the level of human rights violation meted out on Nnamdi Kanu. For nearly a year, Nnamdi Kanu has been punished by indefinite detention in solitary confinement and denied access to needed nutrition, medical care, and counsel of choice in violation of international human rights law and the Nigerian Constitution. Continuing, he wrote, Nnamdi Kanu has also been denied his right to public, prompt and fair trial before an impartial judge. Government has amended the charges against Nnamdi Kanu 3 times. They remain infinitely vague. They trespass on the universally recognized international law and right of everyone to self-determination, provided in Article 1 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and Article 3 of United Nations General Assembly Resolution 61 to 295. Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples 2007. Notwithstanding armies of lawyers, and investigators, the Nigerian government has remained unprepared for trial after the elapse of more than 11 months. Since Nnamdi Kanu's detention in Abuja, there is still no trial date, the statement concluded. Bruce Fein, a United States-based lawyer and counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has written a letter to the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Owaneze Indigbo, disclosing that there are plans by the Nigerian government to imprison the IPOB leader without trial. The letter dated May 11, 2022, which is addressed to the President General of Owaneze Indigbo, Prof. George Obiozo, and made available to Guardian newspaper by Nnamdi Kanu's special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, tasked the Igbo Socio-Cultural Group to rise to the occasion and assume legal and moral responsibilities to ensure Nnamdi Kanu gets a fair trial. The letter reads in part, "Rise to your legal and moral responsibilities as Biafran leaders. Do not show your hues when danger appears. Remember, to whom much is given, much will be required." Luke 12, verse 48. It has become obvious that the Nigerian government has no evidence against Nnamdi Kanu. Its aim is to imprison him indefinitely without trial, praying for either his death or handing his prosecution to the next administration. All that is necessary for triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing. The letter went on to stress the level of human rights violation meted out on Nnamdi Kanu. To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let's